Pro Ball Spark. You want good words? Data languager.
Talk real sports with a real man.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
And now, here's the be-all, end-all, know-it-all of high school, college, and pro sports. Aaron Skinny Count with the Skinny on Sports.
We're talking about practice, man. I'm the MVP.
Good Rother Brothers Monday, Western Oklahoma. Welcome to the Skinny on Sports, right here on 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal. Glad to have you along for the next hour. Jared's back. How much did he pay attention for the last week? We'll get his vacation highlights. Every time he leaves, something massive happens, and then happen again.
Two things.
A bunch of things.
Three things. A bunch of things.
A bunch of things. We'll get his thoughts on the SE. I thought about this all weekend. Steve Sarkisian's comments about cap space. And is it a big deal? Is it not? After we got off the show on Friday, the media poll was released, the preseason SEC poll. Pretty interesting, kind of where everybody was. So we'll talk about that, the all SEC preseason teams as well. Really just catch up with Jared is what the show is going to be all about today. 225-9698 is the phone or the text line. It is 225-9698. Give us a call, shoot us a text. We can talk about any of those things, whatever else on your mind over the weekend. Feel free to chime right in at 225-9698. If you're going to be outside the listening area, a couple ways to stay in touch with the show. Log on to kadsam.com or download the Paragon app. The app's got it all. Radio, Penny News, Big Elk and Paragon TV. We're getting closer and closer to the start of high school football season. And the Skinny on Sports podcast, available anywhere podcasts drop. Welcome back, Jared Atha.
Thank you.
How was your trip?
It was long, but it was very fun. The thing about cruises is you can't cut your trip short when you kind of want it to. So I was like, about Friday, I was like, all right, I'm ready to get off. But we were right in the middle of Gulf of America, so there's no chance of that happening. So I just made the best of it at that point and relaxed. And the biggest motivating thing about taking this trip and when we took it was our girls' age, because we've always wanted to do a cruise with the girls, but I've always put it off saying, they're not old enough. And the point to that was so they can remember it and enjoy the amenities, like the slides. They're tall enough and they could do the flow rider wave thing and all of that. And they were able to do all of that. And they've been talking to their friend because they've had to have their phones turned off. You don't want the international rates. And I was the only one with the internet package on my phone. But that was the point. Like, to get disconnected, let's have fun. But as soon as we got back to Galveston, they've been chatting up with their friends and just talking about all the fun that they've had. So that's the point. It's like, as a family dad, like seeing my kids enjoy the vacation probably more than I did. But I did enjoy it. I can't stress that enough in case my wife's listening. But it was a really, really fun time for the family. I had a good time.
Where did you go?
We went down got on the ship in Galveston, went down to Cozumel, our first stop. We got off at Cozumel and got in the ocean. We've had the best weather. I know there's a little worry of a storm, but we just kind of went. We never encountered that. Went to Margaritaville and had some fresh guac made right there in front of us while we sat outside and enjoyed that. And then the next stop was this island called Coco Cay, which is pretty much just straight east of Miami, off the coast of Miami. Well, I mean, by a few hundred miles, but if you looked on a map, that's where it'd be. And that's a privately owned island by Royal Caribbean, which is really good because our Sea Pass still worked on the island, meaning the food and the drinks and stuff. And we spent all day at the beach there. And the next stop, the very next day, was Nassau, Bahamas, We did not get off the ship there. Wasn't much we wanted to see. Me and Allie have been there years ago before kids, and like, yeah, let's just stay on the ship. And that was a wise move because everybody's off the ship, which means the pools and the slides and everything was wide open, and we got to enjoy the day there. And then took a couple days to sail back to Galveston. Got off the ship yesterday, and we traveled all day yesterday. Got home about 8:30 last night, and so I'm refreshed and well tanned and ready to now I'm motivated for football.
So, like, how long does it take to get from Galveston to Cozumel?
It took a day.
And then from there,
it took a day.
Is it like another day?
We got on the ship on Saturday, and then we set sail some late afternoon Saturday, so almost a day and a half, almost. And then you go straight across the Gulf, straight down to Cozumel. I'm sure a lot of listeners have done this. And so that took a day. And then it took like another day to go from Cozumel all the way over, like I said, east side of Florida to into the Bahamas islands, that Coco Cay island. But Nassau's like right there. So I mean, we went to bed and woke up in Nassau that very next day. Oh, it was great. It was great.
Yeah, I see it right here. Yeah, it's like dead east of Miami.
Yeah. And what was really cool is my youngest, James, and if you've ever seen that Flow Rider, it's like that artificial wave thing. She loved the boogie board on that. She was addicted to that. Kept wanting to do it over and over again. Of course, the lines, you have to wait, but there's a place for people to sit in the shade and watch, and fortunately, within very short walking distance of the bar. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it, and I'll just sit here and relax. It was on the back of the ship. I could turn around and watch the ocean, and then when she went on and the boogie board and did that, she got really good at it. The pool was fun. There's slides that even I got Allie to go down a few times, which is saying something when you're over 40. That really beats you up. And I did the Flow Rider thing one time, and I fell off, and it threw me against the wall. And I said, I'm done. My shoulder started hurting, and I went straight to the hot tub and cured that ailment. But
so, how was the food?
Food was great.
Like what?
Food was... So I made a point, like, because we got the food package. And, you got to pay a pretty good amount to get the food package. But it's unlimited food. You can eat whatever you want. There's some stuff you had to pay extra. Like there was, for instance, a tomahawk steak. Well, they're not going to let you get that just for, that's... I almost pulled the trigger and did that, but I didn't. But, so I wanted to eat as much as I could to cover the expenses of the food package, to make it worth it. And I also told myself, I'm not going to eat the same thing twice. I'm going to try we tried all different we went through a round of restaurants, and then we realized we liked two of them. One was a New England style seafood restaurant. And the first time I had steak and lobster. And because we had the food package and we told them that, it's like, we'll bring out every appetizer if you want. I said, do it. And they brought it all out and just laid it like shrimp cocktail, lobster mac and cheese, crab cakes. So that was really good. We went to a steakhouse a couple times. I had a bone-in ribeye one night, had a filet the other night. Of course, again, the sides and the appetizers were phenomenal. But my favorite probably was the steak and lobster. The lobster tail was really succulent, really good. And, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think about, we were talking about food ruts, I didn't want to get into that. I didn't want to go into okay, I enjoyed this, and it's the only thing I'm going to eat on this cruise. Now, lunch was more of a different thing. It was like they had places set up where you can just go up and grab a burrito and walk away, or a slice of pizza and walk away. And it's just fine because we were swimming all day, and let's just go get some pizza. And girls love that, or a burrito, or chips and guac, stuff like that. But the dinners were the sit down. Let's eat. Had to get reservations. We made sure every night we had a reservation, and No, it was good. I'm trying to think of the other restaurants we went to. We went to an Italian restaurant. It was very good. My wife had the lasagna, like a 3-meat lasagna.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the chicken parm, which was massive. Couldn't finish it. And I think I covered everything I ate. I can't remember everything. But it was, yeah, man, I was kidding, but I probably should have done it. I wanted to weigh myself before I got on the ship and weigh myself when I got off the ship. But we ate very, very well. Very well.
So did you, when you got off the ship, I mean, the one place was like kind of with it, I guess. Is that what you mean? Like the Coco?
The Coco K, yes.
Was like included in.
Yeah. So we have a thing, it's called a C-Pass, which is basically the size of like a credit card. And that has everything that you, like, okay, they know. They look at it, you scan it, and they go, okay, this gentleman has the drink package. He has the food package.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't owe us anything. We're good. But you load up that card, or you don't load it up, but if you don't have something and you scan it, like we can go shopping. And we did, like for souvenirs and stuff. Well, then you just pay it at the end of the trip. It just charges your credit card that you applied to that card. So, but the food and drink package, I suggest that if someone ever goes, because at the time it's kind of sticker shock, but do it way in advance and it won't be that bad. But it does take the worry off. Like, well, I don't want to, I don't want to get that meal. It's another X amount of dollars. Well, if you have that food package already taken care of, you don't have to worry about it. But you get on the island and, we got there because we knew it'd be busy. We did some pre-scouting, like, okay, because that island had like slides and stuff, but we really wanted to do the beach day. And so we said, okay, well, there's a place called South Beach, and we're going to walk to it. It's basically opposite where you got off the ship, so it's going to be a little bit of a trek. But they said you can get off the ship at 8 a.m. It's like, all right, we're going to get up. We're going to get off the ship when we can, as soon as we can, walk to that island, get the best seats, best chairs that we can, and be there all day. And that's what we did, and that was awesome. Highlight of that day was, so that island was cool. That beach was cool because you'd walk out, you'd be swimming, up to your neck. And then all of a sudden, there's like a sandbar. And you're walking up, it's up to your knees. But you look back, and you're like basically standing in the ocean. It's awesome. And you could sit in it. And so at one point, me and my wife, we walked out there to sit and enjoy a couple drinks in our hand and just enjoy the scene and where we're at. And we're just kind of sitting in it. And I turn around and I look towards the ocean side, and I see this dark mass just coming straight towards us. And both me and Allie were like, what is that? We both stood up. It was this massive stingray. And some people were joking, saying they were around us going, well, we didn't see a fin, so we didn't think it'd be too bad, like a shark. But it was, I had my phone with me because we went out there for me and Allie to get a really cool picture. And so I had my phone, so I was immediately taking pictures. And the pictures didn't do it justice. And I took a video when I could, but this thing was massive. Like I can't even describe how wide it was. And that was really cool to see the wildlife in that. But that was the highlight of that day. That was really cool.
So when you're on the islands, did you eat anything?
Oh, it was just, they had like a burger shack, we had fries and hamburgers, hot dogs. That was just nothing like a sit down meal. It was just like what you'd think a burger shack on a beach would be. Just walked over there, got burgers, and the funny thing was you had to protect them because if you walked away, seagulls would just
come down.
They would just come in massive amount of seagulls, and they'd fight over your food. I was sitting there one time, someone forgot to do that, in a chair kind of to the side of me and in front of me. She left her boat of fries open. Uh-oh. I felt like I was in the movie Birds, that, or whatever that Hitchcock movie was, because they were flying over me, and I was afraid I was going to get, pooped on. But, we didn't have I'm sure there were places on that island that you could sit down and have a meal like that. But our goal that day, that's a beach day. We're going to go to the beach and we're not leaving this beach. So that's what we did on that day. Yeah, a lot of fun. Maybe if I had any critique to it, a little too crowded. It was a lot of people. And like I said, towards the end of it, I was like, I'm ready to get home. I'm ready to get out into some wide open spaces. But it was cool seeing my kids. They were so anxious to make friends and meet other people just from all over. Mm-hmm. And as soon as my oldest made a friend, happened to be a boy. Don't get me started.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And he kept coming to her, by the way. It was, tall blonde girl. But as soon as she was like, all right, I met somebody who's from somewhere else. And she asked, well, where are you from? He goes, Oklahoma. She's like, well, dang it, I'm from Oklahoma. He was from Tulsa. And everywhere we went to, he showed up. He would figure it out. Or she would tell him, we're going here. So he was kind of hanging around us for the last couple of days. The thing I wasn't really expecting to be really cool, mm-hmm. but what turned out to be really, really, I enjoyed it, was the shows. And we took in pretty much all the shows that I think they offered. Like they had a production of Hairspray, which my girls really enjoyed, and it went really well. Two ice skating shows. Mm-hmm. I guess there is an ice.
Like Ice Capades?
Yeah, there's an ice rink in there that my girls got to do, and I made the mistake of, they pulled me out of the pool, said, hey, can we go ice skating? And I went down there in a wet swimsuit and a damp towel, and it's cold in there, and I was freezing when they're 20 minutes that they had to ice skate. There's a show is about the history of flight, but they use a bunch of special effects where they're basically flying over you, and we got really good seats for that one. There was an outdoor show that involved high divers into pools, synchronized with music, and that was outdoors. That was really neat. If there was a show, and kudos to my wife, she's so like, okay, we gotta do this. But me, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wake up, go to the pool, and then I'm gonna eat, and then I'm gonna take a nap, and then I'm gonna shower and get ready for dinner and go to bed. But she was like, no, we're gonna go to this show first. And we're gonna, so she was really the driving force behind making sure we experienced everything we possibly could on that ship. Because again, it's like a once in a lifetime type of vacation, and she wanted to make sure we all enjoyed it. And again, it goes back for me, is like seeing the kids enjoy it, and they enjoyed it. Like they coming home, they just, all they talked about was, I hope, so that was the idea, just make that memory with my kids, and they can go back and say, yeah, I remember when I was 12 years old and 9 years old, I got to go on this ship. It was really, really fun. So that was really enjoyable. The shows are great. I didn't think I liked the shows. Kind of the man in me was like, I don't want to go to some Broadway show. But I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed that.
Would you do another cruise?
You know what I told my wife? Because we're 6 years now away from it. I said, you know what, I would, because she's like, yeah, we got to do this. Let's do this again. Like in a couple years. Like, no, pump the brakes. Between now and then, let's plan it to make Katie's senior trip.
Wow.
She graduates, and maybe we can get some other of her fellow seniors and families to go. But it would have to be a long process to plan out for everybody involved if they wanted to do it. I'm sure a travel agent would be willing to find us group rates and stuff. I said, that's when I want to do it. I don't want to get cruised out and go, do it every other year and go, I'm done with this. Kind of what happened to us, kept going to Florida. But so what about James? Like, yeah, then James, 3 years later, we could do it again. If that's what James is. But Kate was like, oh, yeah, I want to do that. I want to bring Blakely and Zoe. I want to bring them. And well, we're not paying for that, but we can start planning it now and let their parents know, hey, if this is something you're interested in, we can start planning this as a senior trip. So yeah, I would totally do it, a cruise, and mix it up. I mean, this was my third, but the first one in like 12 years. The first one was up in Alaska for our honeymoon, and then the 12 years ago, We went on a big family cruise through the Bahamas, but we started out of Fort Lauderdale, so we went, St. Thomas, that Virgin Islands area like that. So I like some, not the same cruise every time, but I do like the warmer climates better. Nothing against the Alaskan cruise. It was actually really nice. I mean, it was about this time of year, 17 years ago, by the way. Happy anniversary to my wife, which was last Saturday. And we did that cruise, and of course it was like 103 here, but up there it was very comfortable. So that's, if you ever do an Alaska cruise, that's when you want to do it. But I'm more of a, sunshine and beach and beer in my hand kind of guy. So but I would totally do another cruise. It's just to be, not the same thing over and over again, and not as frequent. I'm not a frequent cruiser like some, like my mother-in-law. She's going again in November on another cruise. She loves cruising, but I would have to spread it out and do different things. But I do like Royal Caribbean. I think that is the only cruise line I would do. I did like that.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know if I would like a cruise. I've never been on one. I just don't know. Because like what you said, I mean, it's not like if you go to like some resort in Mexico or something that you just going to up and leave. But I don't know. I'm sure the ship is so massive that you don't even think about it. Like,
well, it's a floating city.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's probably bigger than I realize, and so you don't. It's not like you're feeling trapped on the ship because there's so much to do.
Yeah,
and it's so much bigger than I realize. But then I think about, well, if you get tired of being at a resort, like you can say in Cancun, well, you can just go off the resort.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now, safety.
We probably don't advise doing that.
Maybe not at night.
I was a little nervous about Cozumel. We didn't go too far in because some people were like going right into the town of Cozumel. And that's the protector in me. I'm like, I got kids. I don't want to, so we didn't go. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but the ship, you don't feel it. It is a massive ship. It's a floating city. Everything you can think of is there. I mean, they had a sports bar, which was cool. My only problem is it's the same dang sports, like a repeat of. I mean, I watched the OU Alabama game, the regular season one, not the playoff game. They kept playing like these just repeat of. Like, can we throw a baseball game? I know there's baseball happening right now. Can we put a baseball game on? That was I guess, another knock. Is that the TV viewing, but I'm not there to watch TV.
Right.
Did take in the World Cup final. They had this massive watch party at this outdoor, the same place they had that outdoor swim show thing. They had these two giant big screen TVs, like in a theater setting, and it was packed. I think I sent you guys a video. It was standing room only. I stood for most of the first half, and then I found a seat for the second half in the final and all that. But that was cool, and that was kind of one of my goals. Like, if I'm going to be on a cruise with it's a bunch of international flair. There's people from all over the world who are on this one ship, that'd be cool. If there's a bunch, that particular day, you saw a bunch of Spain jerseys and Argentina jerseys. That was cool. And just to be in a group to watch the World Cup final it felt like you were at a game when you hear the roar of the crowd when it builds up when there's a breakaway and when if they miss a shot, that was happening on the ship at the same time. That was cool. So it was neat to take that in because when am I ever going to say I'm on a cruise ship during the World Cup final?
Right.
So that was neat. That was real neat. I gotta say the staff is awesome because as soon as they saw your can go up in the air, they were right there. Another beer, sir? Like, yeah.
Since we're here.
Yeah, I guess. But no, I did not count the drinks. Allie wanted me to. No, scroll past that channel. I don't want to see that. She's like, why not? Don't you want to know if we got enough? Are we in the black on the drink pack? It's like, I don't want to because you're going to see Jared charge. And the girls drank a lot of virgin strawberry daiquiris and pina coladas. They love those. And my wife discovered vodka. Vodka and soda. With 4 limes. That was her drink of choice.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Sounds like a wonderful trip.
A lot of fun. Last night, though, ready to driving home thinking, okay, that's done. Time to get to work. Time to get ready for football broadcast. I mean, we're going to blink. It's going
to be here before we know it.
What are we, about a month away?
Yeah.
Yeah. So get ready to get that going. And
yeah, I think this Friday will be 4 weeks out.
Yeah.
Another thing that I found out that I realized when you were gone is y'all start school a week from Friday.
Yeah.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, Canute starting real early. This is one of the earliest I can remember.
Yeah, there was 2. I saw this deal on Facebook on Friday or Thursday maybe, and it was like the logos of all the schools around. And there was 2 that I think maybe Merritt and Canute both start that on the 7th. Everyone else was like the 10th or 11th or 12th or something like that.
Yeah, the girls weren't too happy. Said, okay, we get back. It's time to start retraining our minds and bodies for our new schedule. School's about a week and a half away. No!
Yeah.
I was like, sorry. We got to start going to bed earlier, start getting ready for that.
Yeah. It's almost here.
It's wild.
Summer is almost over.
August 5th. We got an August 5th for Raiden starting.
Oh, dear. So that's Wednesday. That's a week from Wednesday.
Yeah. I got to find...
I think we're the 12th. If I remember right.
The Elk City?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hammond starts next Wednesday. So that's another August 5th.
Another 5th.
I'd forgotten that school's going to have to be a week longer.
Now, why is that? Because the
legislation that passed extended the school year by a week.
Has nothing to do with the recess thing. Like I saw the times of schools are going longer too because they have to have a allotted amount of time for they're being required to make these kids get outside and run around.
Oh, really?
For recess. So I know Canute's letting out like at 3:20 now, not 3 o'clock.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I knew that there was extra days added.
Yeah. So here he goes. Yeah, Canute the 7th, Oak City the 12th, Eric the 12th.
Oh, you must have found that deal that I
found
saw.
it too.
Yeah.
Merritt's the same day on the 7th. Sayre the 13th. Is that a Thursday?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Sweetwater the 11th. A Tuesday. Oh, an odd day to start. Yep, it's here. Go get your school supplies. It's ready to go. When's that no tax weekend?
It's got to be coming up.
It does.
All right, when we come back on this Rother Brothers Monday, Jared missed a few big things in the NBA, that's for sure. Talk about the SEC Media Days as well. Football right around the corner. Skinny on Sports coming back on the Rother Brothers Monday.
Rother Brothers Equipment in Clinton is now hiring well-qualified service technicians. If you have 2 or more years of experience repairing heavy agricultural equipment, strong troubleshooting skills, and the ability to read hydraulic and electrical schematics, this could be a great fit for you. Benefits include 401k with profit sharing, 100% employee paid health insurance with eye and dental, paid vacation, holidays, uniforms, and paid service training. This is a great earnings opportunity for qualified candidates. Apply in person at Highway 183 North in Clinton, Oklahoma. Rother Brothers Equipment.
The Skinny on Sports.
We've come too far. There's too much to lose. We've got to keep our composure.
Welcome back. It is the Skinny on Sports, 98.1 FM, the sports animal, hanging out here on a Rother Brothers Monday. Big thank you to Mike and the gang at Rother Brothers. Highway 183, just north of Clinton. Rother Brothers offers a variety of agricultural and outdoor power equipment that is second to none in all the great state of Oklahoma. Not a friendlier or more knowledgeable staff than the one at Rother Brothers. All right, so while you were away, the Thunder, a move that a lot of people thought might happen, have traded Luguentz Dort to the Atlanta Hawks for like 3 second-round picks and lots of savings on the money side of things. And that puts Oklahoma City with a roster spot possible and $6.9 million below the second apron. Not only did they cut loose of Dort's $18 million he's due this year, but by picking up that option, allowed them to trade. It saved them almost $100 million in actual real money. Are you surprised? It's funny because it seems like there's two totally different camps on this. Presti had the comments in the Oklahoman after it was made, where some people are saying, kind of getting the vibes that he was unhappy, like almost telling everybody that if it was his choice, this wouldn't have happened. I mean, others, maybe kind of because of Dort's history here and almost protecting him by saying it was just a move for money and nothing to do with basketball, which I sort of disagree with. But what were your thoughts when you saw that Lou Dort was indeed traded and basically for nothing?
My thoughts was it's there. There it is. We kind of had it in the back of our mind. This was inevitable. But as time went on, it kind of thought, well, maybe it's not going to happen. But when it happened, it was like, well, there it is. I mean, and that's what they needed to shed that money to get under that second apron. And so it was fiscally responsible. And it's kind of the phrase that I kept thinking was, sometimes you got to cut off the finger to save the hand. And, it sucks to lose him because of the history that he gave us and the effort and the torture chamber and all of that and the up and down shooting from outside and all of that. But a great player, great guy. But it's, again, it wasn't like I was devastated but more like, well, sad to see you go, but I'm glad you're going to a place where you can be effective and you can get paid what you deserve. And also it helps the Thunder financially in the long run. And once again, stockpiling more trade pick or draft picks, albeit second rounders, but still more to work with and move around and have in your back pocket if you need it. But now, the question is moving forward, what do the Thunder, now that they got some wiggle room, what do? They tried over the weekend with guy with the name, the kid from Denver, and that didn't work out. Denver's retained him or matched the offer. So now I'm interested to see, how's this roster going to shake out moving forward. But it's very clear for the long-term future that Presti wants to keep what he sees as his big three together. That obviously being SGA, J-Dub, and Chet. And there were some at the end of the season wondering, should it be Chet, not Dort? And it's very clear he is wanting to use those three guys as the building pieces for the long-term vision of this franchise. And what's built around him, we'll find out. So, but it wasn't, it's a business decision at the end of the day about for Dort. And I'm just, in a weird way, just happy that he's at a play. He wasn't dumped somewhere. I think Atlanta is going to be a player in the East now with LeBron now in Philly. We'll see what's going on there, and of course New York. But I think he's in a good spot. I mean, Atlanta's serious about being contenders in the East, and this definitely helps their cause. So I'm glad he's at a place where he can still be. He could be in the spotlight still.
Yeah, I mean, I think the financial consideration is probably number one. But also, the basketball as well, because as much as we harped on Chet, as much as we're going to continue to harp on Chet and how he looks against San Antonio and Wembanyama specifically, because of how poor he was, it took a little bit of the spotlight away from how Lou Dort's not playable.
True.
He doesn't really have anybody to guard on San Antonio. And the minutes that he played in that series showed it. I mean, he played 14 minutes in Game 7? And I know that you don't want to just focus building a roster to beat one team. But you're always going to have that in the back of your mind, though, because of how it looks like that rivalry is going to unfold. So I think at the end of the day, the bottom line was, is Lou Dort worth $100 million of what we're going to actually have to pay? I think you're right. It's obvious that those three guys, I think, and we'll see this in the next couple of years, that the Thunder do believe that those guys are worth going in, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Are worth going into not only the tax, the second apron. I mean, that's coming with the extensions and when they all kick in. I just don't think the Thunder brass decided that he wasn't. And then, we've been hearing ever since this happened, well, the Thunder are worse. They made themselves worse. I don't know how. I don't think you can just automatically say that, because they didn't get anybody back for him, but they've also created more minutes for guys. I mean, it's like the Lou Dort fans in the media just completely disregard the fact that guys like A.J. Mitchell and Kasem Wallace and Jared McCain get more minutes.
Which is
so I just got a text that said the exact same thing. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing either.
Not at all. Not at all. A healthy A.J. Mitchell, who knows? Obviously a healthy J-Dub, healthy A.J. Mitchell. I think people keep forgetting about that San Antonio series was the health of Oklahoma City. I hate that as an excuse. I hate it. I hate it when people do that. But, it is a factor. It makes me wonder if those two were 100% healthy like they were last year, like J-Dub was last year. Obviously, Mitchell wasn't ready last year. That series probably doesn't even go to 7. But, no, especially Mitchell, I don't think he's done developing, and he's still very young. With him getting the opportunity to get more minutes, can't be nothing but a good thing.
Well, if you just take Game 7 against San Antonio, it looked like two guys wanted any part of it. And it was Shea and it was Kasem Wallace. Kasem Wallace was awesome in Game 7. And, stunting his growth out of loyalty to Lou Dort doesn't make sense in the long run, or even, quite frankly, in the short term either. And so I think it's easy to automatically say, oh, look, they got nothing for Lou Dort, they're worse. It could be a little bit of addition by subtraction, with letting some of those other guys spread their wings, get more minutes, start to develop at a higher pace than maybe they would have if he was still here. So, what about LeBron? LeBron to Philly.
Yeah, Philly was off my radar. We always heard Miami, Golden State, And, of course, Cleveland. And there towards the end, you just kept thinking, it's going to be Cleveland. We're going to have this dramatic reveal that he's going home and, in grand LeBron style. So Philly kind of came out of nowhere for me. But, man, if Embiid's healthy and the additions that they made and Maxey, all those guys, I won't say the team to beat in the East, but definitely a player. The big if is the health of Embiid. That's always been a question mark. And then the longevity of, what am I trying to say? Not the health of LeBron, but the stamina, and he's made it clear. This is it. This is the last place I'm going to be. I'm sure he'll retire probably a Cav on a one-day deal or something. But he said that this is it. This is my final decision. But I still wait for old LeBron to show up one day. But it's very interesting. It makes him better. It totally makes him better, I think. I think it does make him better. He joined the team to win now. He wasn't going to join a team for novelty or for reminiscing my good times in South Beach. I'll go back there or go home, like I said. So he's going there to win. And I think it makes him better. It makes the East a lot more interesting than what I thought it was in this past season. And it on the other side of it, I've seen talk does it benefit teams in the West? Now he's out of the West. Does it open doors for other teams to maybe leap the Lakers or whatnot? But what was your reaction? Did you about drop your phone or you go?
It started to look like Philly was a serious contender. It got pretty quiet there. After the initial rush of free agency, it was pretty quiet. I did see that Rich Paul's agent talked about how much more realistic Philly got when they made the trade for Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
On paper, it looks like it should work. In reality, I don't know. There's only one basketball. I mean, if you're Jaylen Brown, what are you thinking? All right. I'm not going to say that he for sure is going to be his team because of Maxey. And, Embiid's always around, but, man, trusting him to be healthy seems like a fool's errand. He's gone. And maybe that's the luxury here of adding these two guys. You don't have to worry about him playing as much, or he can just try to be healthy for the play, if that's even possible.
Or if he is not healthy, it's like, okay, he's not healthy, but LeBron is.
Yeah.
Kind of supplement that. But again, I don't know how much that gives you, but what? And you're right. I mean, that would be some questions we're going to see emerge early on is how the roles are taken. Who's doing what?
Because
LeBron, did he learn something in L.A. when Luka came in and he played off ball more? Is that something he's more willing to do? Okay, I know how to do that now, and I could elevate Philadelphia by doing that. I don't know.
Just on the surface, you're like, oh, yeah, that's going to work. Then we start thinking about it. Okay, well, Jaylen Brown is totally ISO. Is the ball out of Maxey's hands now? And I don't know that that's a great idea.
We've seen conceived notions of super teams, and it just falls flat on their face because of what you're saying. So I think that's the big question is, will this fall flat on its face because there's too many me guys on this team?
Mm-hmm.
But we've seen the opposite too, and LeBron's been a part of the super team that's worked, obviously in Miami.
Yeah. It's going to be.
But that was ages ago. He was a youth still, he was young still, but.
This is his 24th season.
Crazy. And I'm tipping my cap to that now. More we hear and say that, and then seeing how effective he still is. Yeah, tip my cap to that. I love the mixed reaction in Philadelphia. You heard it earlier before us. Some guys are just freaking out, love it, and other guys are like, for the long-term vision of the franchise, like, this is not a good move because we get him for maybe 2 years. And what if it doesn't work? And but maybe the front office guys in Philadelphia are like, yeah, if it doesn't work, we still have Jason. We still have Maxey. Still have Embiid, and if he's healthy, he's good. So, like, I thought they were a good team before LeBron. And now if it works, they, like I said, they could be contenders in the East.
Yeah,
but I'm at a wait and see, Let's see. Ask me in mid-January. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
But get ready to see a lot of Philadelphia on your TV.
No doubt. And I'm sure that's one of the things that was being waited on before the schedule announced.
Yeah.
The easiest opening game of all time would be Sixers at Knicks on ring night.
Oh, yeah.
And then probably Thunder at Spurs for the doubleheader.
Yeah.
Had it
like a 6 o'clock for that one and 8 o'clock for Thunder. Yeah.
That's I can do that. Even I can figure that out for the schedule makers. Yeah. Sixers are going to be front and center. No doubt about it. All right, when we come back, ask Jared about the Steve Sarkisian comments from Thursday down at SEC Media Days. How it's being perceived. Will it have a negative effect? Skinny on Sports going to wrap up a Rother Brothers Monday.
Rother Brothers Equipment in Clinton is now hiring well-qualified service technicians. If you have 2 or more years of experience repairing heavy agricultural equipment, strong troubleshooting skills, and the ability to read hydraulic and electrical schematics, this could be a great fit for you. Benefits include 401k with profit sharing, 100% employee paid health insurance with eye and dental, paid vacation, holidays, uniforms, and paid service training. This is a great earnings opportunity for qualified candidates. Apply in person at Highway 183 North in Clinton, Oklahoma. Rother Brothers Equipment.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
The Skinny on Sports.
That's what I'm talking about.
Welcome back, Rother Brothers Monday. Skinny on Sports, 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal. All right, did you see the Steve Sarkisian comments?
I saw the headline. Give me what is it? Give me the update.
And basically, he said, he was asked at one point about Parker Livingston.
Yeah, I heard that.
And he said, want to kick his butt.
And you know what? I didn't have a problem with that.
Yeah,
I know what he's saying. So it wasn't like a shot at him. It's like a competitive, from the competitive nature. I don't have a problem with that.
Then he was asked about, some guys that obviously they had the headliners of the portal class with the 2 running backs, with Ray Brown and Hollywood Smothers, obviously Cam Coleman at the receiver and he said that they had to create cap space. And that's why, and he named 5 or 6, 7 guys that moved on and were replaced by these guys in that portal class. So, I mean, the question is, in this, what it doesn't matter? Is that going to upset high school recruits? Are other teams going to try to negatively recruit against Texas because of these moves, processing guys in and out? Or is it more of, well, yeah, that's just the way it is now in college football?
I'll give you another one. I think it was a call for more money from donors.
Well, I mean, $45 million isn't enough.
Exactly. There's no cap. There is no cap. But what he's saying is, this is all the money I had, and this is me trying to spread it out to get what we need and what we want and keep everybody happy at the same time. Cuts had to be made. And let's face it, that's what it was. Cuts. And he's like, if you want to keep these kids or keep these kids happy or keep them from leaving, I need more money. This is like kind of roundabout way of asking for more money. But I could see the transverse effect of that. If someone go, oh well, they only have X amount of dollars. I can get paid. I won't be restricted if I go to LSU. I won't be restricted if I go to OU. They'll pay me what I want, or I'll get what I want, without the risk in the back of my mind of, well, they're going to cut my funds 2 years later because a Cam Coleman's available. So I could see that effect too. But I think he was really asking for money.
I never even thought about that. I don't think it's going to, and I asked, Scott and I were talking about it on Friday. I don't think it's going to it's not. 10 years ago, I think people would use this negatively, and it might affect recruiting. But nowadays, I don't think it does. And for people immediately, two fan bases in particular, with Oklahoma and A&M, immediately, try to light the fire as much as it can.
Oh yeah.
And I think, and my question was, how would you feel if it was Venables that said this?
Exactly what I just said.
The one thing, I think he could have made the point without mentioning the guys he cut by name.
Right.
If there was one critique that I would have for it, it would be that. He could have easily said, we had some guys have to.
Yeah, everybody knows who they are.
They are.
Yeah.
That's right. And it's. I think if there was a misstep, it's that. And mentioning those guys by name that left or were forced out, or however you want to put that, to make room for these guys, and he made no bones about it. He said, "Can anybody here honestly say we're not better with these guys versus those guys?" He was very, very blunt and very honest, which is refreshing. It just, I think that, like I said, I think that's the only, if you want to critique him, the only thing you can say is mentioning those guys by name. But
yeah,
I think it's just one of those, it was a little bit boring SEC media days.
Yeah, I happened to actually.
Players were super buttoned up. You didn't.
Yeah, there was a lot of.
There was. Coaches.
There's no.
Everybody wanted Lane Kiffin to be crazy, and he was never going to be.
No.
Now, John Summerall from Florida, people liked him when he was going to throw the podium at one of the reporters because his phone went off. I thought Pete Golding was great, and Kirby. Kirby Smart is Nick Saban now. I liked a lot of what he had to say.
I did, because of the timing, and. Ironically, I was just earlier in the show ripping the TV options on that ship, but they did have the SEC network. So we were still in our rooms when Brent took the podium because he was the first guy. So I was able to listen to a little bit what he said, but it was all, you kind of like, well, you knew he was going to say that. He's, nothing, just such a positive guy. So I was able to see Venables talk just a little bit. But you're right. There was nothing like that. That grabbed the headline. The Livingston thing grabbed the headline. But other than that, and none of those things bothered me, by the way. And there was no Texas Tech reporter that moved the needle this week.
No.
Like there was one at Big 12.
Yeah. This weekend.
I was wondering how long before, because they're in Tampa, when Brent took the podium, I was like, how long until he says Baker? And he brought him up like the first 10 seconds. How Baker took him out to a dinner or told him about a steakhouse in Tampa.
Yeah. Venables, shockingly enough, was the second shortest kind of opening monologue of all 16 coaches.
Sometimes he can get a little long-winded.
A lot. Well, that, it tells me he's very, very comfortable with what Oklahoma has because he doesn't have to over-inflate and explain different guys.
Yeah.
I think that's a very good sign for how he feels the Sooners will be this year.
I mean, we'll have a lot of time. Well, I say that. I mean, week 0 is a month away too, right? And then we're 5 weeks out. So, but, the preseason polls out. Paul Feinbaum said it best. He said about 20% of the time this thing is accurate, but it's fun to look at. OU right there at 7th. There's a lot of people pegging them, and someone else is kind of like an underrated team, like keeping out for them.
I thought that was interesting.
But they're 7th because of that schedule, I think.
It's really interesting because there was lots of buzz. Feinbaum even said it when he was on with Mark for a few minutes.
Oh, he was?
Yes. And he said, I'm surprised how much buzz there is for Oklahoma. And he said they were here Monday, and he was on Wednesday or Thursday. He goes, people are still talking Oklahoma. So was that just overinflating it to get people to listen, and then the same people that were doing it voted them 7th? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those two, the hype through the week didn't match what the poll showed. But at the same time, it was, those top 2 teams were pretty far, and then they're pretty jumbled from there down, to through about 7 or 8. Like 3 through 7, 3 through 8 was all pretty. There wasn't a ton of difference with the way the points were. So I don't listen.
But again, the preseason polls, any of the polls, you'll laugh at them, right?
Well,
at the end of the season, you'll go back and go, well, that team was preseason 20th, and there they are playing for what was Miami?
Mm-hmm.
So you laugh at them, but they're fun for the fans. But and then also, like what you said about OU and the buzz about them, but then they get the preseason poll and they're 7th. Well, is there depth? I mean, is that the depth of this league, which we always hear about in the SEC? You can't take a night off. OU thinks that, going to Starkville, that's not – well, they dang near beat Texas last year until Texas turned it on late and won that game. So is there depth? Is that why? I mean, there's still respect for teams that are ranked like preseason 8th and up. I don't know. But the numbers will tell you, the analytics, the FPI stuff that we talk about, that especially on the defensive side, OU's going to be pretty good defensively. And then some would say, well, if they're going to be really good defensively, why are they ranked 7th in the preseason poll in the SEC? Are they underrated? I don't know. I think the schedule's taken a large part into that.
Yeah, the schedule won't be what we think something will be different. Like last year. When you looked at the preseason, you were like, ooh, going to South Carolina. How you going to win that one?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. And then,
you're right.
But then Ole Miss coming to Norman, that'll be fine. And they were better.
Right.
There's going to be that, give or take, with the schedule for Oklahoma. But yeah, I thought interesting because the buzz that they were getting, even on the days they weren't there, would have told me people would have them higher than 7th.
Yeah.
But that's just it. You know how I know it's getting closer to football?
It's hotter than hell outside? I don't know.
When you pull up ESPN's website,
yeah,
at the top it's got different sports. NCAA has made it back to the top little ring.
Some week 0. Getting ready for week 0 games.
Yeah, it's just easier to find now than it has been over the last couple months. Everybody have a great Rother Brothers Monday. We'll be back tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Skinny on Sports podcast with Aaron Cow. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to get alerts of when the latest podcast is available. Thanks for listening.
That ball is blistered to right. Way